not the end we wanted to see.
Not the end we wanted, but let's make no illusions about it. Steven Stamkos can still shoot the puck.
I mean, I'm quoting you, right? Like, that's something we talked about. You said the Nashville Predators have not looked good this year. They still have some absolute weapons. There's no easy games in the NHL, and we saw that tonight. Steven Stamkos, after somebody in the chat jinxed it and said, I haven't even noticed Stamkos out there. He scores a goal.
Two beauties on the power play there, but some penalty trouble in the second there. I mean, all Canucks in the third. They did everything they could to try and come back tonight, which was nice. Tough look for Miller riding the pine there, but it's about time he was showing some tough love. He's had a stretch of about 3 or 4 games where he hasn't really been the effective player he needs to be like he was last year. I don't know if maybe he's nursing a bit of an injury, maybe that left arm or right arm, I can't remember. No, left arm from earlier in the season. Remember he took a slash off a faceoff there and was a little bit sore the beginning of the game, but hopefully it's not an injury and maybe just a message being sent by coaching.
Yes, hopefully we'll have to see in the post game. Depending on how angry Rick Tocchet looks when he talks about Miller, that might be the giveaway as to whether or not it's an injury or whether or not he's just riding the pine because he was playing bad. I was asking the chat, and I think I've asked you the same question. Miller doesn't look the same without Besser in the lineup. Is that a little concerning that Miller is not making his teammates better? It seems like at this point, in my opinion, it looks like Besser makes Miller better.
It's tough because he's been saddled with a rookie. So obviously there's going to be an adjustment period there. But at the same time, you expect him to lead by example. And right now he is not doing that.
We talked about it in the first intermission about the dominance in the faceoff dot by the Canucks. Nashville came right back, ended the game winning 49%. And considering they'd only won like 32% of the faceoffs in the first period, definitely took that to heart and came back in the faceoff dot. How much of an effect do you think that had on the game?
Obviously it had a big effect in the second period there, in their power play. I think they won both of the faceoffs, at the start of the power play. So those are huge, right? If you're not, winning those and getting a bit of a chance to get a breather on the penalty kill, you're on your heels right away. And that's exactly what happened. Stamkos with 2, real nice shots. The Roman Josi shot too, just a cannon of a one-timer. Not really much Lankinen could do tonight other than what he did do. When you look at the game overall, pretty even game. Hits are 26-24 in favor of the Canucks. 2 penalties either way. Um, you know, that's 2 playoff teams, really, when you look at it on paper. Nashville shouldn't be as bad as they are. They started out the season. One of the things that obviously they struggle with is they need a left-handed player up front on their power play, and they're going to be absolutely lethal. Right now, they have 3 righties trying to find chemistry, and that's been a struggle of theirs. But they have all the pieces, so let's not kid ourselves. Nashville is for real, and this was just a good hockey game at the end of the day.
Yeah, the Canucks didn't manage to kill either of the 2 power plays, so Nashville coming out of that with 100%. It's wild too. Only 4 power plays in the game. Felt like there probably should have been a couple more. The Canucks scored 1 of 2, so at 50%. So with 4 power plays in the game, there was only one of them killed off, which is crazy considering how good these 2 teams generally are when it comes to penalty kills.
Yeah, it definitely.
Shots on goal, 21-27. The penalty minutes, 4-on-4. Hits, like you said, 24-26. And then block shots, really close to 19 block shots for Nashville, 14 for Vancouver. Kiefer Sherwood finally getting one there. Wait, after he had a couple moments whiffing on the breakaway and then also getting in really, really close on that other chance. Couldn't quite get the shot to go, but nice to see him actually get one against his former team, despite the fact that they ended up losing the game.
Yeah, for sure. Sherwood had a good game. He was pushing hard, and Heinen, nice to see him get an assist there because he had a decent game as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Canucks fan
there was a
94 in the second intermission was saying he saw him playing out for the Surrey Eagles, which I didn't know about. But apparently he was captain for the Surrey Eagles and a good local boy, obviously from Langley. So good to see him getting some more assists. What is he up to now? I think he's, 7 assists now for Heinen through the first part of the season. So putting up some numbers.
Well, and that speaks to the secondary scoring that the Canucks have built. Our third and fourth lines can score just as easily as our first and second lines. Right now, our second line or first line, whichever one you want to call it, is obviously struggling, missing Besser. Hopefully, we get some good updates on Besser next week, and we can get once he comes back, our top six could be awfully lethal.
Jason Nager in chat saying, frick the ref. But I mean, yeah, there was a couple especially near the end there, I thought there was a couple that they really missed, which could have maybe turned the tide. But at the end of the day, the Canucks didn't look great in that second period. And we've talked about this all year long. It's becoming like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. They can't put 60 minutes together. They'll have spurts in the game where they play really well. And usually it's the first period where they play terribly. But tonight they decided, let's wait until the second period to really crap the bed. Um, is
Yeah,
there,
a
what
couple
can
of.
Talkit even say at this point?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I I I don't have any words for it. It's obviously frustrating, given the ability they have to put 60 minutes together on the road. It doesn't make any sense. Um, the power plays, the penalties that we took. Obviously, Hoglander had no reason to rush and shoot that puck over the glass. Um,
Well, he ended up batting
you
it with
know,
his hand.
yeah. So it's just something that that's a weird one, obviously. But if you're gonna bat it with your hand, bat it down to the ice.
He just really wanted to get a souvenir for a kid, eh?
I guess so. Just weird little things that seem to keep happening this season so far. It doesn't feel like we've found our groove as a team. It's still waiting for that moment of like, okay, this is this team's identity. This is who we're going to be moving forward, and that just doesn't seem to be happening yet. I don't know when that will happen. Maybe that's when everyone is back and healthy, and we have Demko in the net, Besser on Miller's wing, and yeah, I feel like there's gonna have to be a trade made here soon. Maybe just to change things up, fill a couple of those holes that we're lacking. Um, Soucy and Myers had another real tough night.
Yeah, Savvy in
Soucy
chat is just
specifically.
saying that Tyler Myers is brutal. Now, but I feel like at this point, I'd say for that pair, I feel like Susie's the one who's currently dragging down Tyler Myers, which is not what I would expect. And Tyler Myers, yeah, having some rough goes, but he's actually up to 3 assists so far now through the first part of this season. Um, are we starting to talk about maybe switching up those defensive pairings?
I think you need to look at something, but also we don't exactly have extra top four D men. We got a lot of guys that are able to cycle in on that bottom pair, but there's not really someone. I mean, maybe Brandstrom could handle it. He did a good job tonight, had another great game. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to have to come via trade, or maybe D Petey is just hits the ground running and gets a shot on Tuesday night, and someone has to sit in the box.
Do you think the Canucks would sit Soucy? Like, is he the guy that you might even take out at this point? Maybe you just call it a maintenance day and have him sit down and take a minute to watch the game from the press box.
I'd like to see it. I mean, there's other coaches around the league that aren't shy to sit guys that are making more on the team, but something has to shake Susie's cobwebs loose. He's definitely not playing to the best of his abilities, and it's hurting the team. It's different if it's hurting the team just giving some shots up and stuff, but it seems to be finding the back of the net more often when him and Myers are out there. They have some pretty bleak stats together right now. I think Now probably 12 goals against and 4 goals for. They've been out there for something like that. So definitely our weakest D pairing so far this season.
Quinn Hughes now with, I think it's 15 assists in the season. That means, is he on pace for like 80 plus assists for this season?
It's got to be up there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to look for positive things to talk about in this game. Obviously, Pettersson getting another goal with the help of Dobby. Ratu getting his first goal with an assist, the fourth assist. So Heinen actually got the 2 assists tonight because he assisted on the Ratu goal as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Myers actually was pivotal in that Kiefer Sherwood goal too. So that's where I'm starting to think maybe you need to really shake these defensive pairs up, because I feel like I feel like Branchman and Tyler Myers might actually not be a bad pair together. Am I crazy about that?
No, you're not crazy.
Thank you.
Myers, if he has less of the puck moving to do, he usually succeeds more. He can focus on being physical, stay at home. But then sometimes he also gets guilty of being flat footed and not moving his feet enough. And then he starts taking those clutching penalties and things like that. So um, it's worth a shot for sure. Brandstrom's definitely earned a look further up the pairings. So maybe maybe he does come up and play alongside Myers.
So it's not getting any easier for the Canucks either. On the Tuesday night, they got the 1994 Stanley Cup rematch against the New York Rangers, a very highly offensive team, a team that's got a world-class goaltender. What do you see happening in that game on Tuesday night?
It depends what Canucks team we get. If we get the team that we had in the third period tonight for 60 minutes, they should come out on top. Um, they controlled the play. They only gave up 2 shots to Nashville, one of which on an empty net. So, if you can play that way all the time, you should win the majority of the games. But when you're only playing with that urgency because you're behind, it's constantly an uphill battle. It's exhausting. You need to play that way right out of the gate, and when you score, you need to score again and start generating. They need to get a big win under their belt. They haven't had that this year, like they had last year. They had the 10-1 and 7-3 victories they were having last year. Um, they just need some bounces to start going their way, and they need to feel like the work that they're doing is paying off.
I've beginning to think that I might grow my hair out because I have been keeping it very, very short, but like I'm just worried that I'm going to be pulling it out because I don't know which Canucks team is going to be showing up. It's like roll some bones, figure out who's going to show up. And I think I've talked about this at the beginning of the season for the Canucks quite often, is like, who are the real Canucks? Would they please stand up?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with that big turnover with 7 or 8 new guys in the lineup. Um, Obviously, that's a huge, huge difference to last year, and we really miss someone like Zadorov, who brought a bit of stability back there as well, and was a little more reliable than someone like a Soucy.
Yeah, the Canucks home record now is 3-4-3. Their away record is 6-1. I'm hoping they're not looking past the Rangers to the road trip coming up, starting in Ottawa on Saturday. They got to get things done. They can pull to 500 if they win on Tuesday night against the New York Rangers, and then go on the road for those early games, which sometimes can be tough for a Western team suddenly playing at 4 o'clock their own time. But you got the Senators, who've been playing pretty really well. And then we do get to see Zadorov coming up a week from Tuesday against the Boston Bruins. That'll be the second back-to-back for the Canucks. You got Boston and Pittsburgh back-to-back, so that could be tough as well. And then what's up with this? Can you explain to me why they're playing at noon on the 29th against their expansion rivals, the Buffalo Sabres? Is that like a holiday or something?
Is that a Thursday or a Friday?
It's a Friday.
So that's Black Friday in the States. That's Thanksgiving weekend for the US. So that's why they're playing daytime games.
Yeah. So we got New York Rangers on the 19th, and then they got a 3-day break before they head out to Ottawa, Boston, Pittsburgh and Buffalo coming up on that road trip. Maybe the road trip is all they need, right? We talked about that at the beginning of the year. Maybe that's what they need to do as a team is get on the road and start bonding out there, and maybe they can turn things around.
Yep. No, for sure. I mean, road trips always help with that because you don't really have much else to do other than stick with each other and go out and explore the city, have some dinners and stuff, and go back, sleep, play your game, and go home. Go to the next town. So, maybe there's too much distraction at home, and that's why these guys are struggling. Some of them have young families. It's tough. But they got to find a way to play better in front of the home crowd.
What would be a worse scenario for you? Miller sat because he's hurt, or Miller sat because he's ass?
Miller sat because he's hurt. I don't mind sitting him down. He's responded in the past to tough love, and maybe him and Tocchet have a nice back and forth tonight and clear the air and get some motivation under his skin because he needs to find that energy and ability to control the game like he had last year.
What odds are you giving to D Petey get into the lineup on Tuesday night against the Rangers?
I wouldn't say it's likely unless someone has something that's bothering them from tonight's game, and Desharnais still banged up. But maybe Desharnais comes in for Soucy or something, and I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd like to see him get a shot because he has been playing quite well down in Abbotsford. So, and he brings physical two-way play. He can move the puck. He gets the puck through. He gets shots on net, which was a lot of our block shots tonight were coming from our blue liners, which stifles the offense because immediately, usually, the puck is heading the other way when a D-man gets a block shot. So that's something that our blue line needs to be better about, is getting those shots through.
Dustin, thank you for joining me. I mean, the Canucks did get some good pushback in the last bit of that period, so it was good to see. But obviously, a tough loss. They're starting to do the trend that the Abbey Canucks were for a while there, which is win loss win loss win loss. So we will see you on Tuesday night. We'll have a chat about the Rangers, and we'll see what happens. I'll have to practice my Elias Pettersson plays forward. Elias Pettersson plays defense. I'll practice that over the weekend. Or I guess the weekend's over. I'll practice that on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see what the lineup looks like come Tuesday.
Cool. Take it easy, brother. We'll talk soon.
You as well.
Nothing is perfect.